let's talk a bit about AI encoding. Okay, so we've been working as a senior developer advocate. I think now you are also lead DevRel, right? Source graph.
Right. Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. Been following you. So let's talk about how I don't know AI, for example, changed your workflow in coding. Like,
Right.
how much did it impact the way I don't know you start a side project, for example? Let's start with this, and then we'll jump into coding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a huge difference. So the way I like to think about it is you want to start kind of at a high level. And I think I'll share something here. Just set up something here. I'll just maximize this thing here. And I hope people can still hear me.
Yeah. I think they can.
Right.
Yes, they can hear Hotspot. So I don't know if you want to
Yeah, I
make it
think,
a bit bigger in the screen, but yeah.
yeah, I'll see if I can make the text big. I think that's the way to solve
Okay.
that.
Perfect.
If you could like keep your mic on, that would be helpful, just to, make sure nothing is I'm not offline or anything. So
Yeah, let's keep it
what
up.
I wanted to say is, you want to start with high level questions, and that's what I normally do. So
Meanwhile,
the question was about like when you start a new project, right? Let's say, I think the question was like, hey, I'll take this question as kind of part of the context. It was like Next.js, Astro, Svelte. So the first question you would ask is Next.js or Astro or Svelte. And then you probably want to ask this question to AI. So that's the first thing that's totally changed. Normally what you used to do is you would read kind of manually, right? You would go to blog posts, and then you would say, okay, can I find blog posts comparing Next.js, Astro, and Svelte? Kind of try to read different Svelte with an E, different blog posts and opinions. That way, combine them together and then try to understand it. Maybe Reddit posts too, but that's a lot of work. To me, the way it's changed is just in the planning stage, I can just ask AI for answers, and that's really helpful.
yes, I think that the approach of when you start a new project, it's absolutely different now. And so, for example, here you mentioned different frameworks. Why? Why? Because you think when you have to decide which framework you want to use.
Yeah, that's exactly the use case here.
Okay.
And I put, mind the cutoff date here, because AI doesn't know anything that's too recent. So if you're thinking about like, oh, what's the trend, what's the trend after 2024, 2025, whatever the cutoff date might be, maybe 2023, depending on the model, then you might not know those things. So then you'll need to do something else, right? Maybe I'll zoom in a little bit here for everyone. All right, I'll just do that. So the question for you, Francesco, and everyone is, what do you do then? What if you want to do this research of different frameworks after 2024?
So do you mean like research about a framework to build a project, or to learn the framework?
I think to build the project. So like, again, the situation here is building a new project, right? And you probably want to decide, okay, what framework do I use? What language do I use? And if you just ask AI, what should I use? Next.js, Astro, Svelte, just these one of these raw models, you might not get the latest information, and that might be good enough. But
Yeah,
You know,
got it.
sometimes you want to get the latest information.
Yes, so I think for me, usually if I start a project, I am I am in build mode, so usually I don't ask AI. I really chose the stack.
Right.
And if I want to learn, usually I get this question like I think 10 times a day, like how do you learn new things? I think that my usual process is to check one single video and then
Yeah.
probably the documentation and start creating content. This is the process now. Before it was just watching a lot of videos, a lot of blog posts.
Right.
And now my approach now changed a bit.
Yeah.
I don't, for example, I didn't use a Stack Overflow for a while. I don't know if it's also your case, but like I think that the
Yeah, I
last
don't
time,
remember using it.
I think 6 months ago, it was the last time that I asked that I went on Stack Overflow, like which
Yeah.
is I think this means something because before I was literally like going there every single day for all my job tasks. I was basically living on Stack Overflow, so this is a change. This is good old times Stack Overflow. So yeah, so to build something, I will probably get some assist from AI. What I really like about AI is the initial process because I'm very bad at memory. I don't know how to set up a simple Next.js project or to I don't know, add just a couple of dependencies. I know that I can always update the dependencies, so usually I do this. For Next.js, for example, I can even go on the official documentation because yes, probably if I ask Gemini or ChatGPT, I might get an old version of Next.js. So usually I prefer to use the latest npx create Next.js apt latest, and then still use Gemini or ChatGPT. So usually I like because the documentation of each framework is still I think more up to date. But I'd like to know also from you. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I do the same thing. I'm curious how do you choose Next.js in the first place though? Like, why not Astra or Svelte, like chat was suggesting?
Yes. So usually it depends on the project. The reason why I use Next.js most of the time, so not every time, is that it's easier to deploy. So usually when I do my side projects, I want to deploy them in the easiest possible way. So even of course if I love Docker and all that kind of stuff, I know that I will have a very quick process in deploying, and then I can focus more time on building. We don't have to use Next.js today, by the way. We can also run it locally. Right. But since, for example, if I want to create an open source project, I want people to access to it, I want to maybe check the changes. So we know all the killer features, but there can also be other option, of course, for a different kind of project. So yeah.
Yeah. So what I found, AI helpful for is just really learning what's out there in the first place. So, if we're talking about Next.js, we might be kind of looking at ways to deploy your website, let's say, or you might be thinking about creating a website in the first place. And then you can just ask, like, what's the best way to deploy a blog? And then it might give you options like Netlify, Vercel, these different things. And then you can ask follow-up questions. So I find that it's really kind of made the process of learning much faster for me.
Yes, and now, for example, now we will go into today's topic, of course. But we are just warming up. I would like to give just a bit of more context before we keep going. We also have a question by Ashik. Is it possible with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript you can just call the Gemini API, not AI model? I think yes.
Yeah.
I think it depends. I think I did this also in a all the frameworks. They are just something that makes things easier. But I'm pretty sure you can do this. I probably will do this today. I don't know if we'll actually use the API of any of the AI in the project we'll build today. For sure, we'll use AI in some ways to build it. I don't know if we'll use some AI inside this project or whatever. So, but I think the short answer is yes, of course. Let's check. Perfect. We see any people here. Okay. So. Okay, so let's go into the. So, is there anything else you want to talk about before we dive deeper into the, writing some code together? I'm excited, by the way.
Yeah. So, okay. So, kind of stepping back here a little bit, and I'm gonna make this a proper sort of document. Kind of structure it as a document by adding a header here. I'll just say building a new project, and this is what we're doing here. And I like to kind of think of it as different levels. We start at the highest level, which is, what are we trying to build? What are our objectives? Kind of ask that, and then decide what technology do we need to use, and then decide, okay, once we decide that, what do we need to actually write? What kind of components do we need? So I like to start at the highest level and then go down. So in this particular case, the question is like, what are we building here, right? Like, so before we went live, we were talking about maybe building a game, but there's this idea about building, I guess, a chat app that might be an option using AI. Someone mentioned Gemini. I think it really depends on like what you guys are interested in and what you're interested in, Francesco.
Yes, so the idea was just to build something. So I was thinking about a game because a game might be more interactive, and we can also make people to play with it, make them to interact with more, of course. Yeah, the idea of a chat is also fine. I think I wanted to see something moving on the screen, but that's just something that's okay. Let's see.
Something moving on the screen.
Yeah, that's that's requisite.
Right.
Amazon Bedrock, you learn Astra and Svelte. For example, Bob would go with Astra and Svelte, but I will not focus. I think we can even use plain JavaScript and HTML here for a simple things.
I wonder if we can make something move on the screen with AI. I don't know if that would be too advanced or too complicated.
I think I did this in a single prompt last time. It was a simple game that you needed to avoid some enemies and take something else. This was I think it was in a one-shot prompt. Nice. Animate some SVGs. I think it can also be the game which you played. Okay, this and this. I'm also getting exposed because there is something called Francisco's wife in the audience. I mean, I'm not married yet, so this might expose me very hard. Hi, by the way. And yes, so if you're in the chat, let's decide together. So drop your ideas. Of course, not something complicated, but I would like to have something that it might evolve. So this is also why, for example, I like the idea of a game, because a game can be very simple, but we can, it can evolve in so many different ways. We can make it as complicated as we want, and that's it. Start with the idea, good idea. Let's focus on that. Yes. So okay. Let's decide. And then let's write something. So first of all, let's decide if do you want to create a simple game, or do we want to do something else?
I mean, I think a simple game is good for a short stream like this. Obviously we don't want to go for something too complex. Feature creep is a thing, and we don't want to have that here. But okay. I think what you said about like having it kind of extensible, having it have some sort of feature would be good to have.
For example, I don't know if you want, we can also merge these two ideas and do a chatbot which is at the end a game. There was a game I was playing, I think 35 years ago. It was basically a game. It was basically a fantasy role-playing game based on a chat. So, for example, so for example, it was like the games is like do you want to go on this mission, and then you encounter a group of orcs. So do you want to engage, and then you fight? But it was all text based. Of course, the game was, I think, fixed. Okay. So what about doing something like this, like a game chatbot that lets you do something? What do you think?
Wait, so
that
you chat with AI and then the game moves?
The game, like yeah. So in this case, of course, we should need to add the API keys. Okay, but at the beginning, we can also just do some random fixed answers, and we can focus on on the mechanism of just sending things and getting things back, doing this text and things. So I don't know, you can, for example, you can create the player. Maybe you can decide some statistics. It's everything text based, but
okay,
something like that. You get the idea?
I think I kind of get it, but I have a different idea.
Mm-hmm.
So
Propose.
on the main screen, you'll have the main game. I don't know what that looks like, but something moving, right? Just like regular game. So we're gonna build that first, and then if we have enough time here, which I'm not sure if we do, then we're gonna have this chat component where AI. This is not traditional chat. It's just AI talking to you. You don't talk back to AI, but AI will be like, oh, "You're doing well," or "You're doing terrible." Like it kind of roasts you.
It's like it's like in the 90s where you were playing some some game, like, and then you have your friend basically doing the commentary.
Yeah, something like that. So that
I
way,
like this idea. And the AI messages should be triggered by how you are performing in the game.
Exactly.
I love
like
this.
Every 5 seconds or something. Okay,
I love
cool.
this. And last idea. Maybe we can also set different kind of friends, like the cheering friend, the annoying one, the troll one. Something like you choose, like the personality, exactly, the personality of the commentary. So we are getting into something.
Yeah, I think that's good, because that way we can just build the game first, make sure the game works, and then if we have enough time, we can kind of add this extra components.
Yes. Okay. Yes, and we can. I mean, as game, you can do something like asteroids. We can do something like Tetris or something like that. So I like this idea more. So it was more into my first idea, which is you see something moving. Like a simple like asteroids game. The old ones.
Oh, like these ones.
That was the simple. The simple one. You get it?
Let me see what that looks like here.
You can even play here. But I like the idea that you have... I think... How is it called? The one with the... the old one. Old game... Space Invaders. Remember?
Space Invaders.
I was thinking about something more like Space Invaders. And then, like an AI version of Space Invaders. And then instead of having the bricks, you can have the faces of people that are on Twitter, so you can shoot at them.
Right.
But that's more advanced. That's advanced.
Right.
I mean, but it's fine. I mean, that's all cool ideas. Like. X, you can call it X Invaders.
So it seems like people want like space-based games. Okay, let's just dive into AI here. Normally for quick questions, I like to use ChatGPT just because I find it's pretty easy. So I'll say,
which model are you using?
Just the default one. I think 4.0.
I think
I don't pay for it.
Yeah, okay, but I think I think at 4 is gone, is retired. So yes, and for example, I'm sure that if we try a game which is already known, it will be way easier for AI to help us to create this game, because if we create a game like Tetris or Space Invader, that's our chess, that's a game that basically everyone knows, and I think it has been rewritten like 1,000 times. So yes,
Yeah.
let's start with something like this, and then we add the AI commenter friend, I would say.
Sounds good. All right. Lunar lander, endless runner space. I feel like these ideas are not very good. So let me try Gemini. I don't think it's showing my key here.
ChatGPT lasted not very long.
Yeah.
I think for a game, I also tried Grok. Probably if I had to start today, I will go with Gemini. I think what is a killer feature of Gemini, which is it gives a faster response. I
Right.
think that it really matters when you are doing a research. So usually, like knowing that I'll have the answer in less seconds, I think this is where the AI fight will lay, and this is where this is why Gemini is it's not to say winning, but for sure is getting is getting closer, I would say.
I feel like
I start
these
with something.
ideas are higher quality. Media Doctor, space turret defense, fuel run.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking about a very simple Space Invader like, also in terms of gameplay, but we can have some variants. I would like to end this stream that we have something moving on the screen, and we also try something with AI. And yes, and if you are in the chat, of course feel free to drop stuff.
I think Space Invaders is fine. So I'll just go to my project directory. I'll just make this big. And I guess I'll make everything, close everything just so we can focus here. Like that. And then and I think
okay, yes, so perfect. So I think that with a game like this, we can start with just the simple interface, start game, end game, and I think that it's AI can be very good at this, like the basic basic logic. You have a menu, we click play. When reach 0, you can have different things. We can also have just one life now that you got hit with just I think Space Invader is like that, the original one. If you get hit once, you are done. You don't have the concept of life bar, which makes our game easier. And yes, so okay. And also at the end, we also want to make a recap of everything we used. Okay. So are we going with Gemini?
I think so. There are different ways of going about this. Like, I've been using Claude Code from time to time, and that's been pretty helpful. And I've also been using this product that I've been working on. I've been part of a team working on called AMP, so we can go with that. And I think both of them are based on Claude currently. So I found like Claude is really good at web development.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Terminal game, asteroids. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see the chat. I love Gemini 2.5 Flash or something, but its response are benchmarking the cloud, but Gemini sometimes goes confused. Okay. In a while, I also managed to set at least the Twitch chat. You will see it on the screen, so that's cool. slowly I'm getting more into this. Okay. Do we want to make this project free or available for everyone or not?
Yeah, I can do that. So,
No, first I think we can make a comment or something like that.
I'll just push it. I guess I'll show what I'm
Yeah.
doing here. I'm just using a Git client,
Okay.
Some people might have seen, if they've seen me like code before. I like to use a, graphical Git GUI.
Okay.
And that's what I'm doing here. I'm just going to publish this. Easy. And that should be available. Let me be on GitHub.
You can also share the link here.
Yeah, I'll put it in the private chat. Oh yeah, it's.
Let's see. So you have you create the repository with the Git client, and now maybe you can make okay.
Now I can start vibing.
Let's see. I think AI model has its own different aspect for which they used. Yes. Should make a basic interface of an AI chatbot use possible type. Yeah, probably I will start with the game yet, even if it's not complete, and then I like the idea of having you can have like a sort of square as an interface, and then let's say on the side we can have at some evolved moment we can also have like a real person, like we can see the face of the commenter with expressions. That would be very nice, for example, for a live stream, like having people that they join and then you see an AI version of them and then you have the reaction. Evolution of live streaming.
I'm just setting up some basic stuff here. I think it's this. So what happened is I created a license on the cloud and I was trying to pull it, but I said I can't pull it or I can't push, until I have a commit. So I created a commit, just simple git ignore one line. Okay. And then I'm just going to publish fetch.
Did you send me the... yes, the...
Yeah. I'll just do git pull here.
It's always interesting to check each one workflow. My workflow will be different, but it's fine. It's fine. So I'll send this in the chat. So we already have 1 star, which is mine.
Nice.
You start with the license. Okay.
That's weird. Please specify which branch you want to merge with.
Let's see. Git pull. I think you need to set, but I think you need to set the remote.
I thought I did. I mean,
if you try git remote -v.
Huh?
If you try git remote -v, can you see it from the terminal?
Oh yeah, let me try that. Origin set.
Okay.
I think I might have broken it because I updated, the GitHub version of it first before local. I thought it shouldn't be a problem.
But okay, git push origin. Warrington branch has no has no upstream. But how did you add the GitHub repository? Because you
I mean, you can use the GUI. I'll just do force push and then that that remove the license. That's okay. I'll re-add the license here and add a file. And the reason why I add it here is because then I already have this template. I can just use that.
Yeah, that's why I don't use a UI. But
yeah, it's fair enough. Right. I think AI and GUI, I kind of look at it in a similar way where I start with GUI. If things break, I go into terminal.
Of course.
If AI, I start with AI. if things don't break, I kind of go down one level, do everything manually.
Absolutely.
All right. Commit, and then
Perfect.
since you like terminal, I'll just do git build here.
It depends. Sometimes I'm lazy, but yeah.
Now I have license.
Perfect. Okay, nice. I can even now fork it. Perfect.
Right.
Oh, nice. I'm super happy to finally, do some cool stuff together. Who knows? Maybe we'll do something interesting and funny.
Let's see how far we can go. I think we have like 30 minutes. But,
let's see.
We can do a lot with 30 minutes with AI. So one thing I wanted to test is I have this application running that allows me to use my voice to type instead of typing manually. And I wanted to see if it works with
laziness at the highest levels.
Yeah.
I never used voice with code, I think, so far. This might even be a challenge because I never used the voice to code so far in my life.
Yeah. It works pretty well, so, from what I've experienced. And I believe, it's using Claude 3.7 Sonnet or Gemini 2.5 Pro. I'm not 100% sure, but I'll just say, let me test something here. Because with the stream, I'm not sure if it's going to work. I guess I'll do something really simple, like create a hello world bash script. Did you hear what I said?
I think I did. Perfect. Yes, because there are different things.
At least it doesn't break anything here. So just for testing, created it. I can say run it. So I think, we had this idea of using, actually it keeps running it for some reason, but we had this idea of, calling this video or stream vibe coding a game, right? First of all, how do you feel about vibe coding?
Me, I think my position is clear on Twitter. So I tried, I think, I don't know, 3-4 times, but I think it also depends how we define vibe coding. Usually, I joke about saying I hate vibe coding, and then people accuse me that I hate people who vibe codes, which is a different story.
Right.
I don't like the fact that when you are stuck, because it will happen while coding, it's the process of going back is harder than just having just changing some parts. For example, I like the VS Code GitHub Copilot agent because you can try the differences and then you can either apply or undo on single sections, on single parts. So usually I mean, it depends on the simple project, of course. If the project is easy and well known, probably it will be easier. I'm talking about something more evolved, because if I create something, I want to create something a bit more advanced. I don't know, a multiplayer game or something like that. So that's so for now I am on the hater area.
Hater, right?
Yes.
It is. Wife coding.
No, this is just a troll because it's called Franci. This wife didn't even get my name properly, and so it's wife coding. Yes, so you should definitely at least. Let's see. But the core idea. Let's see how far we can go. Why did you create a bash script?
Oh, this was just for demonstration, but I'll create the real thing here. And I guess I can drive it from here. And let's see what we can do with the next, a little bit.
What are you currently using here inside VS Code?
So that's the AMP extension, which is an extension that I've been working on. I've been a part of a team working on it. it is. I mean, you could say it's a vibe coding tool, but it runs this raw model. I think Claude 3.7 Sonnet or Gemini 2.5 Pro, whatever we have here, and it's able to like write files, run files, edit files. It's able to do file operations.
Okay. So this is something you developed, but this has this to do something with source graph? No, it's a personal project. Source graph.
No, it is a source graph project. I didn't start it, and I contributed only a little bit, but I have been working on it.
Yes. Okay. Let me this. Okay, let's put this user in timeout. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I think that the best way will be to start with the HTML interface. Then we can have, I think, embed at least create the structure. So I think with an HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, we can go quite far.
Yeah, and I think we can probably do all of that in one single prompt, at least a simple version.
Confident. Let's see.
Yeah, I've done this before, so I know it works.
Okay.
I mean, it worked before. Let's see if it works this time too. So I guess I'll just do it. Say the prompt. I'll say, let's create space invaders like game. And I'm gonna stop just to make sure the system is working. And now continue here. I want it to be HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I want the game to be really, really simple, but it should feel pretty fast, so it's not too boring. I want the invaders to be represented by simple rectangles, and my spaceship to be represented by a simple rectangle as well. And I want the colors to be subtle, so that it looks good to a designer's eye. Let's see if that works. If this doesn't work out, I'll try something else.
No, it's fine. It's a way of coding that it's probably different from what I will do, but I'm curious. So I want to see how far you can go, and maybe I can also do some stuff, or you can pass the scepter. I can do something else.
It is very different. So create an index. HTML style.css script.js. Create index HTML.
So the structure is fine.
Yeah.
I think that now you can just.
Alright, I opened it and it looks like it didn't quite work.
Okay. And this is the part. This is the interesting part, because now you did the prompt, which is it was just a bit more evolved, and now we are stuck. So this is the classic example. This can also happen with coding. Now let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see from here.
I think it might have kind of crashed my whole browser, but we'll see. Yeah, it worked.
I mean,
it kind of worked.
No, it worked. It works. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I guess it is working.
No, it works. Because maybe the browser did something a bit weird. Okay. Nice.
Okay.
Nice. Okay, this is decent. This is, I think, a very nice approach.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, I'll just say, yeah.
Okay, perfect. And now we can, maybe, if you wanted to start, if you want to make a push, so people can also start, to create some issues. I already have at least 10 issues in my head. But I mean, so let's say, okay, this surprised me. Let's say the first prompt worked, and we have something. The goal of this stream is to, as I said, to have something that is moving on the screen. So goal achieved. We have something moving on the screen. Definitely. So that's the thing. And then maybe you can decide. Yeah.
This is where graphical Git client is nice to have, because then you can look at what's changed. You can review it if you want. So I have that.
Okay, so this is
what do
the
we?
prompt. So this is the
Yep.
prompt, and this is the Git client. I don't know why it's not
Yes.
centered, but I mean,
Yeah,
and
I think
when
that's the main thing. It's not centered. It doesn't have a scoreboard. It has a
so
lot of issues.
I mean, no, but I mean, and no, but I don't know if it was on purpose, but for example, we already have the on the on the side, the space for the AI commenter. I don't know
Oh
if it was
yeah,
on purpose.
yeah. I feel like AI
Maybe
knew.
AI was hearing us.
Yeah,
It looks
exactly.
perfect. No,
Yeah.
I mean it's not really true because the our ship should not be able to move through the commentary, but I mean it's something. So I would say that
Yeah.
I think that we can implement the scoreboard first because that's
Right.
nice. So we can also something like it, and then I don't know. I don't know if you can publish it, but that's for example why I like or sell or something else. But yeah,
Oh yeah.
let's work locally. So that was because I really made many live streams of me building stuff. So but getting excited. So
All right. I'll start with this pretty vague prompt, and I'll see how that goes.
mhm.
Decided to add score 0, scoreboard, CSS, and then it's getting this element. Let's score at 0, score plus equals 10, and then update scoreboard. Let's see how that looks.
No, I mean, let's see.
Oh, it's on the top left. Nice, it's working.
Okay. It also resets when you die. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like it's moving too fast. I can't kill
it's
all the
no,
enemies.
because I don't know if you know Space Invader. You can also check a version online. They are not like this. They move a bit slower and they go on the side. They move on the side and then they move like one step, like
Oh
closer.
yeah.
They are way slower and they move on the side. But I mean, that's gameplay. I would say it depends. It depends. I'm sure that focusing on gameplay is probably the funniest part. Or
Yeah.
we can, dedicate the part to the AI commenter, which might be maybe for developers. I mean, whatever works.
We should refine the gameplay.
Yeah, let's have some fun. Also, if you have some ideas, feel free to drop them in the chat, and we will make this game available for everyone, of course, at some point.
Oh wait, it's doing some weird stuff. I don't know why it's making these changes. I asked, I said, okay, git commit, git push, and they started doing these weird things that I didn't ask for. It might be a bug in the system. Let me see where we are. So these changes, high score. I didn't ask for these things.
Okay.
So I'll just discard that. I think gameplay next is probably a good idea. I'll say invaders in our game are moving too fast. And
yeah, they should also move a bit on the side. There's also some space, and then usually when they reach the max level, I think they go drop by one level. But
let's just do these two things first.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So now I switched to Cloud Code, and so this one gives you like a suggestion, and I can like accept or deny. So it has a bit more control here.
I like it.
Edit to script.js. Looks good, and then I can also do like accept all, but we can go slowly here. Make this edit to script.js.
Function move invaders. Check if invaders track the lowest invader for gain or condition.
Edge.
For example, we could even set the difficulty, easy, medium, hard, insane, something like that.
Yeah.
But let's see.
One thing at a time.
No, for sure. But I mean,
move side to side.
I think where AI really shines is this, the bootstrap idea. Probably writing this from scratch, like this from scratch, would have taken like at least 1 hour. I think, even if you already know. Okay, this looks way more similar. Now it's too easy. Yeah. But okay.
Yeah, now it's too slow.
No, because I think it usually let's see. Okay,
nice.
Exactly. This is what Space Invader is. I think that when Space Invader we can have stage. So I think that's also fine for stage 0. It should be that if you finish all of them, you go on another stage. So probably we can add the concept of stage. Maybe we can even have less of them just to make some experiments. But I mean, this is actually. I mean, if we make this available with an official leaderboard, people might even start playing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple, but it is.
This is simple. Yeah, Space Invaders, they have some of them, for example, they shoot at you, so you can. Some of them they are a bit more advanced, but it's crazy. Like, I don't know how much did it take. Let's see if you finish the stage. Okay, it's just resets, but you keep the point, I think. I think you kept the point, so probably we should add this concept. Let me check the chat. Vibav, I'm sure that Murastack is good for careers. Today we are more coding, but I'm sure that is one of the most common ones. So common is good if you want to land a job. So
yeah, Marin, I'm not sure. I guess it depends on where you are too. So you probably want to check local markets.
Yeah, but I mean, my opinion is that if you're not sure about what you're stuck, I think you should go, with the more mainstream ones. I think Mern is one of the most mainstream. There are many courses on it. I did many in the past. Okay.
Mern is Mongo.
Mongo Express, React, and Node.
Right. Yeah, I mean, React for sure. Mongo, I think Mongo, some people still use it. Express and Node, I'm not sure how popular they are still.
Okay.
So what do we do here next?
So, but here is not displaying the stage. I don't know if we want to add the concept of stage, but no, let's see. Let's finish this. No, it also resets the score.
Yeah.
We can even have less alien ships if you want, just to make as a test. But I mean, it's also fine. And because and for example, I think that once we implement the idea of stage, we can have the AI leaving a comment when you finish a stage, or when you lose when you finish a stage. So, or if
yeah, I think having like the concept of a stage will be good to have.
Another concept might be the concept of accuracy, because you see you have an infinite shoot, which is fun. But maybe we can, if you put like accuracy, then probably you'll try to avoid wasting too many shots. I think that in the old Space Invader you can't shoot until your rocket doesn't hit a ship. So it resets once you hit something. You can't shoot like this.
Oh, interesting.
This. I mean, it's just old mechanics. But
right. Yeah, I think there are different ideas here, but I think the concept of a stage is probably the most important one here.
Yeah. Yes. So it should also be displayed. So stages should be displayed.
Right.
And I mean, for now, we can also leave all the stages the same. We need more the concept of stage. We can ask AI, to make this just a little bit faster based on the stage, so we just see a difference. Maybe you can even change the color of the, so we know that we are on a different stage. I don't know.
So I think the first thing I want to do is I want to fix the placement of this score because it's kind of far away. I want it to be here, and then we can have like score and stage around here. So I think that's the first thing to fix. So I guess I can say, all right, next up, I want to change the placement of the score. It's kind of far away on the top left corner of the screen. I want it to be closer to the game, and I want it to be styled more nicely. Let's see if it's able to handle it here. All right, it's changing the style. And then I'll just do accept all just to make things faster.
Can you see the changes before applying or not?
You can. I mean, by default, you need to approve it. Oh, it's
see a nice score. Cool.
It's going somewhere. But I'm gonna take this off. My thing is already charged.
Okay. Be careful, you're losing.
No, I think we're good.
So I think we can agree that the idea of the game is always nice, even for the streamer itself. The idea of doing a game, it gives you like a bit of a break.
Yeah.
So it's nice to watch.
It is nice. Yeah. So I'll just let it.
They're also having comments like cool. So this game is cool. So nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
YK didn't actually type, I think, a single line in a positive meaning, like just coded with his own voice.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Cool. Okay, cool. This is cool. I don't know. Okay, so do you want to add the concept of stage, and then we can try with the AI, or are you happy?
Yeah, we can try it. So let me see. I feel like there are too many invaders. I know traditionally that's the number, but I kind of want it to feel faster. So
yes,
first I'm gonna decrease the number of invaders.
Yes,
and then I'll add the concept of like this UI is not perfect, but it's good enough for now. So we'll keep that. Yeah. But let's do it. So small changes, I don't normally branch out to a different branch because it's easy enough. So I'll just say, just reduce the number of invaders. And that should be good enough. So it's.
So I guess. Okay.
I mean, it's a little bit sad, but I think it's good for the gameplay. So that
I mean, something else that we can also do, I don't know, having the bug mode that you can, from the UI decide how many shifts you want. We can also do this, but that will be, the bug mode.
Right.
Okay, that's I think that's a nice number to have. What I see is that if you finish a stage, it also resets the score. Instead, it should at least keep the score, and then we should have the concept and type like stage 1. But I mean, it looks cool. Like.
Okay, so.
I don't know if you lose if you get hit, or if they can strike back. Maybe you can also add that. But let's do the stage first, and then we'll see. Otherwise, you will lose too often.
Yeah, and I think I want to do the stage, and then if we have enough time, hopefully the chat function. So like adding a stage is a significant change. Instead of doing it on the main branch, I want to create a new branch and then merge it back to the main. So what I'm gonna say is, now I want to add a concept of a stage. Don't write code yet, but I want to create a new branch. So I know I can do this manually, but it's nice to have AI do it too. So it checked out, and then I'll say, in this stage concept, we should start with stage 0, of course, and whenever we go to the next stage, it should speed up the game a little bit, and we should keep the score. Hopefully that's gonna work. That should be like doable. So what I found is, if you look at these code here, this is like 200 lines of code. This is 30. This is not by much. I found that like up to like 400 lines of code, AI is able to handle it pretty well. But more than that, it starts to have a lot of trouble, some trouble. So it's adding these display and stage 0, stage display, update scoreboard, and stage display. Adding all these things, and I'm comfortable like letting AI do this because it's an easy enough problem to solve. If it's something harder, I wouldn't do it. Stage progression, advance to the next stage. Let's see how that looks. It looks like the game is not moving. So it looks like it broke it. This is a common thing. Let's see if I can just kind of ask it to fix it. It looks like you broke the game. Now, when I start the game, it doesn't move at all. Nothing moves. It doesn't take any control.
Maybe we can even check, the console in the browser. Maybe we can see some error there.
Possibly. Oh, yeah. Invader's
speed is not defined, so I think that that's the issue. The invader's speed is not. So if we fix that, hopefully everything will start working again.
Oh, looks like. All right.
You can shoot.
Nice. All right.
We have the score. So you see, we still need the humans debug. Okay.
Stage completed.
I can't say if they are going
a little bit faster.
I'm not sure.
I feel like.
Do you feel it? Do you feel that is it going faster?
A little bit faster, yeah.
Let's see. Oh.
I think we can fix that. Okay.
I mean, no, yeah, they seem a bit faster, I think. I think we have, current invader side speed, so it might be 100.
Yeah, so I'll say after every stage clear, it should make invaders even faster. I'll just say that. So now it's instead of 0.15, it's 0.3. And this is a little bit tedious, but I guess that's okay. It's not.
It's fine. But I mean, even if this game is like this, but we make a leaderboard, and then you can add your name, and we host it somewhere. I mean, I will play it probably. We need. Okay, so I see.
Oh, nice. Getting faster.
Yes, they're getting faster. Maybe now we can add the concept, because some of the ships they strike back, they shoot something at you, and then you need to avoid them. You're getting too much fun.
Yeah. This is fun. No, it's actually fun. I mean,
not bad.
Yeah. So okay, I think this part is done. Now I want to add like a chatbot on the right.
Okay, now we have to do this part because we also did. But I'm doing a post like
Yeah.
we are having so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, maybe I'll continue later. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I can make a PR or something else.
Yeah.
If you want, I
think,
can work.
yeah.
This might become a thing, by the way, because we still have, see, check the potential. Like, we can add, the faces of people on Twitter or YouTubers, just to have fun. Instead of doing this, we can have the icons, and they get selected randomly, and then you shoot at them. So finally, you can shoot your least favorite influencer.
Yeah.
This is a nice idea.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I should merge this first.
Okay.
Let me just have AI commit that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll say merge into main and create a new branch for adding AI roasting chat.
It's roasting, so it was not cheering.
Oh, no.
It depends on the personality. We can have like the roaster or the cheerer.
Yeah.
It would be nice to see if these can influence like positively or negatively your gameplay.
Yeah.
You can even do this.
Add stage progression system. Yeah, it merged game stages.
You merged locally and then pushing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get checkout feature AI roasting chat.
So we need some API keys here.
Yeah. I mean, we'll need it soon, but we're gonna take it step by step here.
I mean, at the beginning we can also, have a list of JavaScript or a list of comments, and we just can have fixed ones, and then we can have AI to have these to handle this.
Oh wait, it's trying to do this thing on its own, so I'll just stop it here. Yeah, sometimes it goes too fast, so I'll just discard that.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
And we'll have a chat, like if we want to make another session, because for me it seems it's something.
Yeah, it's fun.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I am back here, and I started a new conversation partly because it sometimes helps to start a new conversation. Like when the conversation becomes too long, AI gets confused. That's something I've seen. Yeah, and I'm actually thinking this might be good for the next stream, kind of leaving it on cliffhanger a little bit.
Yes. And then I think at the end we can also push the code on GitHub, so we can have people maybe we can create some issues. We can even contribute. We can even make it like just a funny game, just to have something. We can have people doing their live streams while they do some updates. So who knows? At least we are giving ideas.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it is already pushed here, so people can check it here. One thing I wanted to mention is I have this new newsletter. It's about vibe coding, and I don't have any subscriber yet, but I'll add it to the README here. Or I'll create a README here. I'll just do it manually. README. I'll just put this link here. So people can see. I mean, I can clean that up later, but for now, that was, yeah, that was not in the main branch. So what do we do here? I guess I can just check, switch to main and then merge. And normally I might do this with AI, but here we're doing it manually.
Sometimes we still need human touch.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
And git push. It looks more pro when I do it manually on terminal.
Exactly.
All right, so I have that in case people want to check that newsletter. And I feel good about the progress we've made today.
No, it's not. I mean, this is something. So, as I said, I wanted something that was moving on the screen. So, moving on the screen, we also had the concept of stage. So, the game is already there. Maybe for another live stream, or when maybe I can code this time. We still have to decide how we can alternate this. For example, I think that we can try to put this code somewhere and make the game. It doesn't have to be multiplayer, but like so everyone can play. And maybe of course having like a server database so we can save all the games, for example.
Yeah.
So like, this will take a while, probably, of course.
Yeah. Sounds good.
But I think it's not that hard. Probably we need just a simple backend we can have just to memorize all the scores. But at least, but I think that to let people play on their browser without the concept of a leaderboard, it will not be that hard. You just have to deploy these somewhere. Coolify, I think, other ways. This is just a static HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So this might be, for example, a goal for another live stream. Maybe this time I can code, and we can put it live so people can play. And then of course we can improve the gameplay. Those aliens should strike back and of course make your life harder. But I'm really happy about today's live stream. So really happy. Thank you so much. I also it has been interesting to see your workflow, which is I think very different from mine. And maybe next time I can also make some changes. But it's nice. I didn't know about this. This is voice vibe coding basically.
Exactly.
But so this is an interesting approach. So yes, thank you. And yes, so I mean I think we can say that we achieved the goal of this live stream, right?
Definitely.
So we had something. Probably without AI this would have taken more in 1 hour. Because like especially games, it's not that easy, like to write them from scratch, like even the concept of, because I think those are just HTML elements that are moving with JavaScript. I think I didn't check the code, but we can, for example, something that I would like to do is to check the actual code and see how this is done. But I think they are HTML elements, and they and then probably there is and also, for example, all the concept of the hit, like the collider idea. Probably writing this from scratch is not trivial, I would say. For example, in Unity, you have the concept of like a collider. You can trigger things, but make things trigger when you have something like the rocket to hit rectangle. Probably it's not that trivial. It's doable, but not that trivial, I would say. So so. Really enjoyed this episode. Okay, thank you for coming. I don't know if I'll keep going for a while or just close today, so maybe we can also have a chat maybe at the end of the live stream, and then I don't know, I'll decide what I do. Last shameless plug is that tomorrow I have a space. I don't know if you can join, but it's a bit early. I think it's 3 p.m. CST, so it might be a bit earlier for you, because I need to adapt to Avi. So it's impossible to have you and Avi on the same live stream. It's very high. It's the same space, but we can say that we are back. So if you wake up on time, it will be glad to, because it's about like AI and developers. So you can come and share your experience. So they are the perfect guest, of course. Nice. So now let's close this live stream so we can have a chat 5 minutes if you want, and then we can decide